Surprise, motherfucker.
Me, Mario.
I am the way your son. Motherfucker. I am the way your son. Motherfucker.
Bye, have a beautiful time.
I am the way your son. Don't need the gun to get respect upon this.
We're doing right now. We're recording anyways, but we're talking about how like microtransactions have gotten so bad. Like recently, they've actually, like the UK Parliament is introducing legislation that hopefully will crack down on it, because they're getting so bad that, like, Daddy, you don't know what this is, but loot boxes are like essentially like online gambling. Like you basically open up a box and it has a random. It's like you're pulling a lever on what's it called? What are those things that Vegas call a slot machine?
Yeah.
Zorro. It's
doing
more
that.
comparable to like playing a card game and opening a pack of cards. There's a predetermined amount of stuff that could be in a set. And whenever you open that pack or that loot box, you have the possibility of pulling said items from set with the chance of getting one rare or higher per loot box. So it's more like playing cards than it is like actual like pulling a lever on a slot machine.
Right. It's kind of like, in a sense, a lottery ticket you scratch off. Is that what you're talking about? And you get
It's more like, Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon cards.
He used to collect baseball cards.
Yeah,
He
so
understands
baseball
that.
cards. So you open a pack of baseball cards, you're guaranteed one that's rare or better, and then the possibility of the rest of the set. That's what a loot box is. It's like, oh hey, we have a loot box that guarantees you, 7 items out of a pool of 420 or whatever, 495 or whatever the number is, and one of them will be a guaranteed rare or higher. So it's like that. My fear is, like, obviously I don't want that to be the business model, but what happens if that's ruled out as gambling? Okay, now Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and literally everything are going to be gambling as well. So you have to be 18 years or older to buy packs.
They're gonna have to do exceptions, but like you said, like basically what happens is this has become so prevalent because like these game companies, a lot of young kids get this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and they'll ask their parents for money or whatever. They'll buy this virtual currency, which is essentially money, and they'll buy these loot boxes, which is like pulling a slot machine. Each loot box is like pulling a lever on a slot machine. You put money in, you have a chance to get a reward out. And the whole aspect is like they bait you just like any gambling thing does. It's like, yeah, you have the chance to get it, so you are gambling.
Right.
And it's like the house always wins. Well, the house is the gaming developers, particularly Activision, which is like they're like, all right, let's put this in because it's smart business for them. Like they have these things where like they just recently patented a way for them to actually make money, like doing this. They patented their own microtransaction system where they can like they're gonna pair players who don't have the gear, like really nice gear, up with people who do have really nice gear, and they're hoping that these higher level players are going to kill these lower level players, and it's going to show up a little like screen that says, hey, you were killed by this gun, would you like to buy it for 400 silver, which is $2 real world.
Oh, that's dirty. That's
Yeah, you
fucking
didn't see
dirty.
that? You
No.
didn't see that. Yes.
Why are
Activision
people
actually
not
did that. They
outraged?
granted the patent. They actually granted the patent to Activision just recently. They introduced it all the way back in 2015. So, like, they've gone straight up. Before it was like they were maybe considered predatory. To this is straight up evil. Like straight
You know what
up
it
fucked
is?
up.
It's all about creating value. Somebody came up with an idea that they can market and they can sell to create value to absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
And that's what they've done. That's because there is no extrinsic value in any of that. There's no. I mean, that I guess what they're trying to do is create some sort of supply and demand issue.
Right.
But,
Like, you can't go to a bank and be like, hey, can I get a mortgage? Well, how much money you got down? Well, I don't got money, but I have, like, all these items from loot boxes in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably gonna be a damn fad. I mean, that's just I don't see how that could even amount to anything.
No,
But you never know.
it's
Just
in the
sucker
games
punch.
though. It's not going to be a fad because they're making money off of it. That's the
Well,
thing. They're
somebody's
preying
making
on
money,
the
but if
people.
somebody's making money, other people are losing their ass. Somebody to make some money.
Yeah, that's us, the gamers. Like, we're not even us. We're not doing it, but people who are stupid. And, like, hopefully, eventually, everybody gets
And it's
wise
about
to
that
it and
in-
they stop doing it. You know? Like, I mean, it's addictive. It's just like gambling. Like, look, Zorro went today and he bought him some lottery tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So he buys lottery tickets. It's like some people want to gamble online, you know? But the thing that's really bad is that when you go into a casino, you have to be a certain age. Right now, there are no regulations on loot boxes, and
Right.
what that causes is a severe issue where like these young children that don't understand how things really work are ended up getting, losing their parents' money, using their parents' credit cards, losing their money, and it's all going to this big corporation. That's horrible. That's not acceptable. They shouldn't be able to do that. There should be some type of regulations. And the UK has introduced legislation, at least they're going to talk about it. And the UK has always been on the forefront of like issues like this, as far as like with video games and stuff, because it's such a new medium. The electronical, intellectual property medium is very much a new thing, and they're still writing the laws right now. But they're able to do it, and I think they'll be able to do it.
they're taking advantage of the learning curve. Yeah, they know there's going to be an end to it, but they can make a fortune before somebody figures it out.
Oh, they definitely
Figure out
can.
what's
That's
up.
why they're doing it like they're doing it. Like they know
Right.
it's a gold rush right now. Like we've seen the slow progression in video games. If you are a gamer, you have seen it start from like a base level, go up to like a mid level. Right now it's just like everything. Everything is just like they just recently came out with a game that was single player that has loot boxes, right? And like that was a big threshold because loot boxes were always supposed to be cosmetic, and then they eventually got to be where it was pay to win, so you pay to actually win the game. And now they're introducing them in single player, which single player games are, it makes no sense why you would do that other than it's a predatory practice.
Right.
So it is a bad thing, but for the businesses it's amazing because they get to make more money in their game. Like basically they're monetizing cheat codes. Like I used to be obsessed with cheat codes. Like I used to have a little folder and get all my cheat codes. But now instead you don't have cheat codes in games. You have, these microtransactions which give you an advantage, allow you to cheat.
Right. And we've kind of talked about this a little bit too before. I know you spoke a little bit on the progression, but I've even brought this up. Back in the day when we had Mega Man for the PS2, they released DLC map packs. They weren't called, not DLC, only back battle. They were called map packs, and it came in the form of a disc. You put the disc into your PlayStation 2, close that bad boy, save the map packs to your memory card. They were $2 or $3 for like 15 levels. And I remember everybody kind of just lost their shit over it. They were like, this is unacceptable, da 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 da. And, a couple years ago, we got hit with okay, you can open all these boxes by chance for specific skins, or you can buy skins. And now it's in your face, give us money or you're a peasant and you're not going to enjoy the full game. And that was literally the fucking progression. And that's just crazy to think that in such a short amount of time, we've done so much. But then again, the entire gaming industry has all been such a short amount of time by itself as it is. It's still young.
Yep, that's very true.
It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's
all
sad,
DC
sad, but,
Bake's fault.
It's all my fault. No, it's just these practices are good business, but they're bad for the consumer, But when's that ever stopped anybody?
Never.
No, it never will either.
Well, I mean, because
Always
if
new stuff comes out. That's all it is. I remember when they came out with penny stocks years ago. This guy kept calling me, wanting me to buy these penny stocks. Well, penny stocks were like 5 cents and 10 cents. But the key is you could buy like 5 or 10,000 shares for $1,000. And I kept putting them all. I knew it was a bunch of bullshit. But sooner or later, I what the hell, I put $1,000 into it, and sure enough, it didn't amount to anything. So, that's you got kind of the same scenario. Once people catch on to it and they get wise about it, they'll get out of it. They just won't do it.
Yeah, it's unfortunately one of those situations where you're gonna have a bunch of people losing their asses, and governments are going to have to step in. It's just sad. But speaking about trading cards, my dad, aka the Zorroknowzz guy, he actually owns. Don't you? You got some baseball cards,
Yeah,
don't you?
1962, 63 Topps baseball collection in the cellophane. And
Yeah, he's
In
got a
got
the
them all.
19, got a 1942 All-Star Game baseball with Joe DiMaggio, um, Babe Herman, Lou Gehrig, all their signatures on it.
Yep.
I got
Cody?
that from my Uncle Earl back in the 60s. He was a marketing manager for the Astrodome, Houston Astros. And every year he would send my brother and I boxes of baseballs and all these different collectible stuff. And over the years, we played with a lot of baseballs. Since back in the 60s, you didn't know what you had. It was just baseballs with names on them. But, over the years, I kept a couple of them and I had them. And we were living in a condo before we moved in this house, built this house. My youngest son said, Daddy, who is Joe DiMaggio? Who is Lou Gehrig? And I said, what are you looking at? He was looking at those baseballs. I didn't realize whose signatures were on those baseballs. So they are 1942 All-Star Game, actual baseballs. And which is kind of good. I've kept them. I'm going to, pass them on down, I guess. So.
Well, what's the backstory behind everything like that? The whole baseballs and stuff. Like, why
Well,
are they important?
it's collectibles. I mean, they have a value. The baseball cards themselves, are in cellophane. The fact they're still in the cellophane when they were packaged back in the early '60s, those cards are worth. Probably worth about $10,000 just for those cards. I don't know. They probably if you sold some of them individually, it'd probably be worth more, I guess. But I've had a collector wanted to look at them. I showed them to him a couple of years ago. Some people have one guy up in the Piedmont part of the state has $1 million collection, so he's interested in them. So they're kind of neat to have. Kind of don't want to sell them just because I've had them so long, but they're definitely. I mean, they're nice cards. I mean, they're mint condition. You can't. It's hard to find stuff like that, and you will actually, if you get out and go to some of these yard sales and go to some of these other events in communities, some of these houses, these estate sales, you'd be surprised what you find. We used to do estate sales back in the 70s. My mother was an antique dealer, and she would go in. She worked with these attorneys up in Virginia, and when someone died, then the kids would go in and clean out the estate. She would actually conduct the estate sale, and you can get a ton of stuff from that. I mean, a lot of these people, you're talking about, especially back in the 70s. So you can get a lot of good stuff. You can get a lot of good stuff at yard sales. Go to some of these yard sales. You'd be surprised what you pick up.
Yeah, there's actually a channel online called on YouTube called what's it called? Game Chasers, and they chase these old video games, going to flea markets and
Oh, yeah.
go to all these different places.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. A lot of stuff, good in good condition. And you can go online and look for the estate sales, but a lot of people they've gotten into it now. So what you really need to do is to know some of the families themselves. And when someone passes, when they go in, they're starting to price everything, and they look at stuff, and like I got a call from the lady in Kinston. Her parents had died, and any kind of furniture you want, you can come on in the house and get it. You can go there and look at the furniture and see what kind of stuff you want. You can pick it up at a good price. And a lot of times you get it for nothing, but you can keep it or you can sell it.
When was this? When did you do this?
Well, she's been calling me. A lady I've known for years. Her dad was an attorney, and I need to go over there. And I don't know. She's called me several times. I don't
Is
know.
it recently, or is this something that happened in the past?
Do what?
Did this happen in the past, or did this happen recently?
A month or so ago. The lady I used to work with at one time, her parents had died, and she was the only child, and she's liquidating their assets, and of course they had considerable assets. So, the beach house, I think she's selling that. That's the realtor selling that, and she's got rugs, all sorts of stuff. But like I said, I just hadn't done it. It's kind of one of them just been putting it off. Had a lot of other stuff going on between work and everything else. So,
Mhm.
but I'll give her a call probably this coming week sometime.
Mhm. Yeah, you gotta let old Gina know.
Yeah.
Mama Gina, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, if she's willing to give it free, shit, we need a
yeah, get
couple
on it. There you go.
things over there. Need what, like a bedroom set and stuff. But
Yeah. throw
what
it
else
back.
did your uncle, like your uncle that worked in the Astrodome? What else did he do? Like, you
Well,
never really elaborated on him a lot
what
at
he did
all.
was, his name was Earl Johnson, and he was my grandmother's brother and half brother, and he had a baseball team in Louisiana back in the 40s. I think it was the 40s. It was in the 40s. He had a baseball team in Louisiana. He sold it, and he ended up taking a job. They built the Astrodome like in 1965, Houston Astrodome. So they wanted him to be the marketing manager, and of course he did. And he went there and he became the marketing manager for the Astrodome. And every year he would send Chip and I a box of memorabilia, whatever it was. He sent us a pad of the AstroTurf one year. He would send us all sorts of different things, baseball cards, all the baseball cards, all the baseballs and just all sorts of stuff, and cups and everything else. But the baseballs he'd send them by the dozen, and we would use them. We played baseball in the neighborhood. That's where kids got together when we played baseball. And we used baseballs, and that's what we did. We all played baseball team, and we used everything. And but yeah, it was.
Were any of these balls signed or anything?
Yeah, a lot of them were signed. They had, and my dad's got one with Babe Ruth's signature up in Virginia. He's actually got a baseball with Babe Ruth's signature on it.
Yeah, but did he actually? Did you use any of the ones that were signed? Did y'all actually play them?
We used all of them because we didn't know. You got to remember, you're talking about 8-year-old kids, man. What do 8-year-old kids get a baseball? What's he gonna do with it? He gonna play with it, And that's what we did. But I had two of them I had kept, which were the 1942 All-Star team, and I still got those. So I've kept those.
Well, I mean, I know. I remember looking through those cards downstairs. They're really nice. I mean,
Yeah,
they're beautiful cards. I mean,
they are, man. They're
Magic the Gathering.
A lot of those
Go
cards,
ahead.
you could go back in those days. You get a baseball card, and you get a stick of gum for about a nickel, and that's what you did. And those cards now are worth thousands of dollars.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
There are some cards now. There's this YouTube channel called Alpha Investments, and this guy invests in nothing, I think, but Magic the Gathering cards. And he's made quite a lot of money, like, investing in cards, sitting on them for a few years and turning them over. Like, I don't know anything about Magic the Gathering, but I know that this guy actually invests time and money into it. Like, I'm not a big card game player. I collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards back in the day, but I was never really into cards and stuff. I mean, John, do you play Magic?
I do. I'll actually touch on that in a minute because I actually got a story about one of my friends I want to get on here. But I'll be right back.
All right. Back. I got my headphones out.
I'm back.
All right.
All right, boy, you better deal with the stress in your life.
I think he's got a good plan for it.
Because you're too damn young, 23, to be having migraines. So you need to think, if you're having that kind of stress in your life, you're not doing something right.
Well, see, here's the thing. He's got 2 jobs. He's working himself to death.
You got I mean, if you have a damn heart attack by the time you're 30, I mean, what's it all for naught? Stress is a bad thing, man. You have got to control the stress.
It almost killed him.
You got to do it, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you from somebody who knows.
Yeah, I hear you.
I've been there. I am there now.
Yeah, it's not good.
It ain't good. Hell, I'm 61. Had a stroke in my right eye 2 months ago. Shit. And all because of stress, because I didn't fit any profile. When I got to the ED, they were coming there looking at me like I was a freak in the zoo, because nobody could understand why that happened, because I didn't have no indicators whatsoever.
That's crazy. That was 2 months ago now? Damn.
Yeah. No indicators. None. Not overweight, diabetic, in shape. The guy, my doctor, the ER doctor, was a snake doctor. That guy that you see on Discovery Channel, he's the one who talks about poisonous snakes. He was in Greenville studying copperhead, so he was working at the ED. You know, people came in with snake bites, you know. And he came in and talked to me. And I told him, I said, man, you need to get me the hell out of here. I don't want to go through all this. He said, well, I'll tell you what. He said, you can leave right now. You just signed this paper, AMA, against medical advice. He said, you can leave right now. He said,
shit.
you'll probably be dead tomorrow morning. I said, man, don't I know you from somewhere? He said, yeah. He said, I got a little bit of fame. I'm the snake doctor. And he started talking, you know, he came down and talked to me. We sat down about 30 minutes. We talked, and talking about copperheads. I asked him, I said, how long can you live if you get a rattlesnake bite you? He said, you've got 8 hours. He said, but your tissue starts to die, just necrosis.
Necrosis.
You're gone. And he said, that tissue will die. He said, a copperhead probably won't kill you. He said, a water moccasin, you'll have a problem with a water moccasin. Such a nasty bite. But I didn't fit into the profile. They had no profile, so they couldn't understand why it happened. But anyway, it happened, and I guarantee it's all damn stress. So you gotta let stress go. You gotta realize you ain't doing something right if you're stressed out. That's just a fact.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all about how you deal with it, you know, because a long time you didn't deal with it either, you know.
Well, I run all that, but I kept stressing myself out. But you gotta let it go, man, and realize you ain't controlling shit. You don't control nothing. One thing you can control is the way you react and stuff.
Exactly.
And that's all you can control. So you need to get control of the way you react to anything. I'm telling you, man. If it's, you got to do it. And if it's something you're in fear of, if you feel fear of losing something, then you need to let it go. Whatever it is, you need to let it go and realize you can't control shit. You just control the way you react to stuff, and that's what you need to keep in mind. Anytime you start getting pissed or whatever, anxious or whatever the emotion you feel at that time, you need to realize you're in control of that, and there's nothing good about that.
Right.
Absolutely nothing. So.
Yeah, that's fair. That definitely makes sense, 100%.
And I'm gonna tell you this too. I was talking. Of course, it put me on a cholesterol pill, and I was talking to a cardiologist who lives out here. He said, hell, the majority of cardiologists, even these young guys, are taking cholesterol medication because of new statins. Some of the stuff they found out about them that actually helps the cell rebuild. Of course, it lowers your triglycerides. It works, metastasizes in your liver. So, but anyway, it's something you need to look at. You need to really, look at your whole picture. But what you do now is going to affect you years down the road, because if you're building up cholesterol and plaque and all that in your arteries, man, at some point it's going to come home to you. So.
It's very true.
Yeah, it's craziness.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it's crazy when you're laying in that damn ER bed. That's crazy as shit. You see in double vision. Yeah, that's crazy.
He actually went to you are in the medical field, aren't you?
I'm a healthcare administrator, and so
at an undisclosed location.
I was working 2 days. I had the double vision. Of course, I went to the doctor, and he called the ophthalmologist, and he told me to go right to the ED, and I did. And of course, they put you right in and keep up with your blood pressure, and they do all those tests. And of course, they ended up sending me to a specialist up in Raleigh, ophthalmologist, neurologist, and she confirmed that it was a blood clot to the fourth nerve in the right eye, and that's what happened. So, but once the vision gets right, it takes up to 3 months to get corrected, and there's no other effects. I mean, you're back to normal. So, but
can you tell us about some stories you have from working in the field that you worked at, like some good stories about, some crazy shit you've seen?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I've been.
You gotta have a bunch of them. I know you do. And after that, we're gonna do some ghost stories.
Yeah, but it was some. I've seen some things. I tell you, I was in an old building for for years, 30 years, and had a lot of different things happening between. This one particular building was old. It was built in like 1925. It was originally it was an old hospital, and it was back in those days. The ER was a room. They called it an emergency room. Well, that's what it was. It was a room, and it was a room. That's what it was. And back in those days, you had segregation in the hospital. So where the offices were, where my office was, where I was working there, was in the section of the hospital that was right off from the ER, the emergency room, and it was where they had patients down there. They had patients, and of course over the years it was converted to an office area, and that's what the administrator's office was. And when I started working there, like I said, it was years ago. I used to go in, at 4 o'clock in the morning. We'd start doing showers and getting people up. Because you had a lot of the old residents. A lot of the residents were old farmers, and they used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So if you go in there at 7, 8 o'clock, that was half a day gone for them. So we would go in early and start working. Well, one morning I go in, and I'm down in this area and open up my office door, and I turn on the light, and there's a plume of smoke over the desk. And I knew what it was. It was pipe tobacco, and you could see it, the plume of smoke. And I said, "The hell!" And I looked around, and then when I went to work, and took care of business, did daily operation, and later on in the day, I don't know, maybe the next day, I didn't think any more about it. And I went and I asked one of the bookkeepers who had been there before I got there, and she'd been there for a while. And I asked her, I said, I said, who was the administrator here before? And she told me the guy's name. And I said, did he smoke a pipe? He died. He died from cancer. And I said, did he smoke a pipe? And she said, yeah, he smoked a pipe. And I guarantee you, man, that was I know it was a daggone spirit there. And I had no idea who this guy was. I know he smoked a pipe, but I knew then that was him. I had another episode where my social worker, her office was down by the laundry, and she had this dream of one of the patients used to come down. They get into a routine. We had this one patient. He was a Southern gentleman, a tall man. He always wear a suit. He'd have a cane, a suit. He would get himself dressed in the morning, and I'll never forget him. And he was very polite, very nice to everybody. And she said he had died. And Judy had a dream about it, and she was dreaming that she was in her office, and that she was walking down the hall, and she walked by the laundry. Well, there was 2 doors going into the laundry. In the first door, she looked to the right, and she saw Toby looking in the dryer. And she looked, and there was the man looking in the dryer, and he had a suit on and everything, and it startled her, and she stopped. And the guy looked out of the dryer, looked at her, and said, "Don't worry, it's just me, and it's Toby." And then she started running, and he got to the other door, and he said, "Don't be scared, it's just me." And then she was telling my laundry supervisor about it, and she said that Toby, he used to go down there in the morning and look for socks in the dryer. And Judy, she knew nothing about that.
Seriously?
That's something, man.
That's crazy.
Telling you, man.
So wait, so this happened in her dream. He was like, "Don't worry, it's just me."
That's right.
In the dream, and then, so what? I guess maybe he was. I don't know. He's trying to communicate with her in a dream.
Yeah, letting her know that he was okay, because she said he was young. She said, and he was meticulous about the way he looked. This guy was died when he was probably 90 years old. And he said he was young. He was in his 20s, and he was, his eyes sparkled or something like that. But he was young again. But she had no idea that he used to go down and look for his socks in the dryer. She didn't know that. And of course, Miss Washington told her, said, yeah, he used to come down, and he'd come down about twice a week looking for his socks. He'd go and open the dryer and stick his head in the dryer.
That's crazy.
Don't tell me, man. I tell you. I think
you got any other ghost stories, Daddy, from when you were younger?
Oh, Lord.
A million of them.
Well, I've got now there's just things that happen. You kind of know are going to happen before they happen. You kind of get some of that sometimes. You always feel like that's someone letting you know something's about to happen. Like when I had my cancer years ago, I had my tonsil. I woke up in the morning one morning, got up, got in the shower, but I had this. The thing about it, for I don't know, probably off and on for about 2 months, I'd have a dream at night. I would dream that I was going to have cancer, and that I was going to be okay. That everything was going to be fine. There was not going to be everything was going to work out. Everything was going to be fine. I wasn't anxious about it. I was fine. I had a peace about it. And I just had a dream, and then I forgot about it. Just didn't think anything else about it. And then about a few months later, I get up and go get in the shower one morning. I go, you clear your knot, you clear your sinuses, you take a hock and you spit. Well, there was a little trace of blood, and I spit again. There was nothing. I didn't think anything about it. Next morning, got up, did the same damn thing, a little trace of blood.
Damn.
So I go to the doctor, which is my medical director. I go by there, and of course he tells me to go home and gargle and do all this kind of stuff. So I knew he lost his damn mind. So I went to the ear, nose, and throat guy over here in Greenville because I knew the nurse over there because I knew I used to date her years ago. And she got me right in. And of course, he wanted to take my tonsils out, so he did. And he got my tonsils, and I said, make sure you send them to pathology. He said, don't worry, they look fine. I said, send them to pathology. He said he would. 10 days later, I go back. Of course, your mama went and Jared, and we were sitting in the waiting room. Supposed to be there like at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock comes, 3 o'clock comes, 4 o'clock comes. Finally, I go up there and I tell him, I said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going on home. And the nurse said, no, he wants to see you. And I said, I bet he does. So I got back in there, and he was writing me out a script. He goes, I said, have my passport come back. He said, not good. And that's when I told the nurse, take Jared up front and give him a sucker. And he told me it was one cell in that that tonsil. And
Cancerous.
It was cancer. And he said, I said, what do you want to do? He said, well, I want to go in and take more tissue to make sure it's clean. I said, well, let's do it. He said, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. He said, I've got to meet. He said, there's a committee over at the hospital of pathologists. And what they do is they all get together in a roundtable discussion on a Friday, and they discuss all the slides. And they say, well, this guy, we'll do surgery. No, we're going to do chemo. We're going to do radiation. They decide what their protocol is going to be for that particular cancer and where it is. Mm-hmm. And I told him, he's told me about that. And I said, well, I want to have it excised. We'll do that. He said, fine, we'll set it up. Well, he calls me that Friday. Dean, I can't do your surgery. I said, why? He said, because they outvoted me. They want to do radiation. I said, well, I'm not going to do radiation. I'm going to go ahead and do the surgery. He said, well, I can't do it till you go to Leo Jenkins and talk to the cancer center and talk to the radiologist or talk to the oncologist. And I said, I'll go. So I went, and I walk in there, and they set me up 27 radiation treatments. And I said, well, I'm not going to do it. He said, well, you just pay as you go along. Don't worry about it. And I said, well, I'm not going to do it. So I get back in there, and the first thing the guy said, he said, George Bush really made a mistake going into Iraq. That was when they went into Iraq. And I said, yeah, he sure did. He got me back in there, and he started fumbling around in my mouth. And he said, well, I've ordered 27 radiation treatments for you. And I said, well, I'm not going to do it. He said, well, I would not order it if I did not think you needed it. And I said, well, I do not need it. So I took my little piece of paper, and I ran out of that damn center over there and threw it at the reception and kept going. And I remember there was a girl walking in as I was leaving, and she had the same look on her face that I had on mine, total despair. I mean, that's when you get a diagnosis of a cancer, man, that is just like somebody hits you in the gut.
Right.
I mean, it is just bad. And, it ain't so much the dying, it's the getting to the dying part, I reckon. But, so anyway, went in and did the surgery, and everything was clean. So, praise the Lord, I was okay, But my whole point is, I tell you this. I went through all that, but I remember my dream. and my dream came to pass. Everything was okay, you know, and that's why I was so set on my course of action, because I knew I was okay. I just knew I was going to be okay. I knew that. And, you know, I went back to that dream, and I think I believe that was God telling me that I was going to be okay, you know. And I think, you know, that's a big part about life. I think a lot of life is, you know, your destiny. I think some of it is, you know, I guess it's in your DNA. Whatever you're going to do in this life, you're kind of destined to do it based on who you are. And of course, I think your experiences in life themselves help guide you in that direction or that direction. But you're pretty much going to do what you're going to do based on your DNA and who you are and the way you see things. I mean, I think you are who you are based on your profile. You know.
Isn't that crazy? And we had no idea. He never told us that he had cancer or anything. We didn't find that out till recently. Like, you know, that's crazy. You know, you went into the oncology center, and what do you think would happen if they had done radiation to you?
Radiation.
He's a huge opponent of radiation. He does not like it, you know, unless you need it.
Here's the thing about radiation, and they'll tell you this: the gamma radiation. Well, I think it was gamma, or maybe in cobalt at the time. But anyway, the point being is, they'll tell you now. They base everything on statistics. Statistically speaking, and he says, statistically speaking, between 15 and 20 years, this radiation could actually create tumors that will, in fact, you know, kill you. And that's a fact. That's a fact. So he said, but if we don't do anything, and if we didn't get all those cells, then of course you'll die sooner than that.
Right.
But you know, I guess the key behind cancer, I lost several buddies to cancer. But Don, the guy you used to go swimming in the pool over there at the when you were young, Chandler. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
We used to go.
Yeah,
he had cancer at the base of his tongue, and I can't tell you how many people that I know from the gym who have had cancer. One of my good buddies, he came back from, he was over in Puerto Rico, and he had a sore throat. Of course, he kept going to the doctor, and he kept giving him antibiotics for like a year. Come back to the States, of course, he's got cancer, and they have to go in there, and they do surgery on him, and then they do radiation on him. And
oh yeah, I remember that dude. Yeah, he used to always give us stuff to go, and we would always go. Don, I remember Don.
He had the base of his tongue, and was, of course, he 8 months he was gone. Of course, they did radiation and everything, but it was so far advanced by that point. But there's several people I've met. When you start talking about cancer, wherever you are, when you're in a group of people like at the gym, you know, we all kind of sit around, we work out and we talk. You would be astounded by the number of people that have had cancer. You cannot imagine how
crazy, dude.
Cancer is in our society.
It's really crazy. Speaking of the devil, yesterday we at Starbucks, well, day before yesterday, I had a group come in. Looked like they had just been at a funeral, and this one woman, they ordered a bunch of coffee. I got a $2 tip. I've been getting so many fucking tips ever since I quit, but she came in and she was like, you know, I was like, yeah, y'all went to a funeral? You know, she was looking at me like she was really sad, and apparently their 32-year-old niece had died. She battled cancer for 10 years, you know, and all this shit. And I was like, look, my grandfather died of cancer, and, you know, it was horrible. And I said, the best thing you can do is just keep talking. Don't isolate yourself, you know. I told her about, you know, my uncle dying and how that was traumatic, you know. My uncle died when he was like, what, 43, which is his brother. And that was very traumatic. And I told her I was talking about the difference between a sudden death and like a death you know that's going to happen, you know. Like her her boyfriend's dad died. So that was crazy.
Hey, what kind of dog do you have there?
Keep recording because like that, he knows a lot about dogs. Y'all should talk about it. Just
I had a beagle for years when I was young. You know, Sarge had, of course, he'd take off for days, come back with a rabbit. One time he came, I think I told you about that. He came back with a trap on him. But anyway, I'm looking at getting a dog, and I've been doing a lot of research. I trained labs for years, and I'm looking at a lab, and I'm trying to decide between to get a Labrador Retriever, a Belgian Malinois, or a Border Collie. And I
He
have been,
thinks he's going to get one, but he's really not. He's
The
too
hell
old.
She
He's
ain't too
too
damn old.
old.
Crazy
He's
as
too
hell.
old.
But
See, here's the
anyway.
thing. My dad, he likes to go take damn dogs instead of dealing with his issues. So that's really,
Well,
he's
I like
trying
doing
to
it,
use
like
the
run.
dog.
And see, the thing is, you get your dog, you run, you do and retrieve. It's good.
Deal
here's
with your
the thing.
issues.
The Belgium, the Belgium is a
High energy dog, which he does not need. We're gonna have to call actual people and tell them not to sell it to him. That's how bad it is.
Now, listen to that shit, man. You believe that shit?
I tell you, dude, he can't have it.
Y'all are
you gotta watch out for the
crazy.
dog. No,
Yeah.
think about it, because think about how many dogs are in the shelter. Why don't you go get a damn dog from the shelter? Why you gotta pay $1,000 for a dog you're never gonna use? The man never hunts, he never fishes. He just doesn't do it. If he actually did it, I would understand. Like I told him a million times, like, let's go hunting, let's go fishing. I mean, last dog we had was basically cooped up, borderline SPCA stuff. I mean, it's dangerous to the animal. It's not like I'm trying to hurt anybody, but it's a serious risk to the actual animal to actually have it in his house, unless the owner is careful. It's just serious.
Wait a minute. So, what kind of hunting do you want to do? You want to go deer hunting? You want to go duck hunting?
Daddy, any hunting would be good. You've already known that, but you have to do that, and you could easily get like a beagle, I guess. I'm sure beagles are good. Aren't beagles good for hunting? Like we could just go damn deer.
Listen. I used to do a lot of duck hunting, and I would like to get back into duck
Oh,
hunting.
I would love to go. I always wanted to go
But the
pheasant
thing is,
hunting.
and Jake, Gabe was good. Gabe was good, but Gabe was not a good. He would just. They stopped that breeding. After they bred that litter. They actually got rid of that female. I mean, those damn dogs. And I like the dog, but he was not the kind of dog you want to take hunting. You have to have a dog in the field that you can control. And
Yeah, but there's so much work that goes into a dog. Like, look, John, these dogs, he loves the dogs, but they also are a lot of work. Like, his wife even posted on Facebook, like, what's her least favorite part of the day in the morning is letting the damn dogs out. Because they're a chore. With a cat, it's easy. You know what I mean? Like, even Simba annoys the shit out of me sometimes. I just know the type of person you are, and good God almighty, like, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you just aren't like that. Unless you get on your own, like, you need something that you can, like, focus on, but on your own. And then, like, you just gotta, you just can't do that.
Yeah,
Like, you think owning a pet will fix everything, but it won't.
I'm telling you, I understand what you're saying, Charlie, but the thing is with this dog, it's a hobby to be able to train the dog and to run and do things like that. It's just I've always enjoyed that. And that's
fine.
Barry died.
But you have to take baby steps back into it. You don't even know if you can do it yet. You are getting older. You're older. He's like, what, 60? You're over 60, you about 62. You're getting on up there.
Chandler, are you the dad or is he the dad? Like,
Let me go.
I'm telling you, dude. Sometimes I feel like the dad. I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell him. He's finally listening to my advice. Like, I'm telling him to relax and shit. He's finally starting to do it. I mean, damn.
We don't need to get into the dynamics of all that because, good Lord have mercy. But the point being, really, you hit the nail on the head there, man. That's God knows, man. That's damn sure issues there. But anyway, I just looking out the window, man. I think the neighbor died. I think Barry dead. Look at all these people over there.
You think so?
Yeah, hell yeah. Look at all those people out there.
I was wondering about that. Do you really think he died? Because I saw Just Bonnie.
I know. That's what I'm telling you. I think he died. I really do.
We got to go ask him. See if you see his ghost tonight.
I don't see it then.
John, you got any ghost stories? I mean, I don't know when you have to leave, John, but just, do you have any ghost stories?
Ghost stories? Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, I was in middle school. Middle school? Nah, I was in like 9th grade, 10th grade. And I stayed over at my friend's. Oh, boy. Stayed over at my friend's Dan's house a lot. He and his brother Justin were both adopted. So they were in the foster care program. And their foster parents were oh god. Anyways, they had their own children and whatnot. Dan was the mother, Pearlie was the father. They were great. They did the best they could for the kids, etc., etc. So I used to actually, when I stayed there, I'd chill, I'd help out, chop wood, stay the night, whatnot, whatever. There was a general rule that there was a doll in the washroom that we weren't supposed to play with because it was a old ass doll handed down through the family. So like nobody touched it because, you know, we're not supposed to touch it. It was Diane's from her mom and so on and so forth. And trying to remember. So yeah, they lived in the basement and they were like across from the washroom at the furthest end. So one day they adopted 2 new kids. It was a girl and a boy. Can't remember their name. So I'll just say girl and boy for the sake of the story. Oh man. And life. So we were building some camp thing outside in the woods. We were setting up like a little fort. And we come inside and the kids are reminded not to touch the doll, the younger ones, because they were in the washroom. And then it was time for bed hours later. So we go downstairs to go to bed and no big deal, go to bed like normal. And we're chilling, we're talking. I think we just played some Yu-Gi-Oh right before bed. We're just chilling and talking and close the door, and next thing we know, it starts creaking open. And well, before this even happened, we both got really cold. Justin was asleep on the top bunk. Dan was on the bottom. I was on the floor. So Justin was already asleep. We both got really fucking cold, and the lamp like started to like dim, and the door opened. And I remember starting to like panic. I had really bad anxiety, and I still do, not like that though. And I was like breathing really fast.
Crazy.
And I looked at this door, and this fucking porcelain doll that was so beautiful in a white dress and everything is now like, the dress looks burnt in a way and like tattered, and the hair is all fucked up, and its eyes are like creepy. That like, there's no eyelid, it's just eyes. And it's broken in spots, like chipped away, and it's just floating. It's not even like, it's just like floating slowly. And I remember just the feeling of malicious intent. There was no, I think the feeling of fear was so great that I was paralyzed. And I remember I turned around, looked at Dan, and his eyes were stuck wide open, and there were tears coming down his face. He wasn't even crying or sobbing or anything. He was just like still, perfectly still. And I remember closing my eyes and trying to slow down my breathing so it could be like I was sleeping, and trying to get that image out of my head. And we both woke up the next day to Diane screaming, loudest scream I've ever heard. And she's freaking out, demanding to everybody to tell us where the fucking doll is and this, that, and the other thing. It couldn't be found. It wasn't on its shelf. And we got kicked out to go do stuff outside because nobody knew where it was. So we were the culprits because we were the only ones that were up. So we went outside and come back in later, and she's in her bedroom with the doll. So yeah, it was fucking.
Man, wait, were y'all dreaming during this or what?
No, because we both remember it. We both remember the exact scenario. So.
Was it still messed up, like burned up and everything, the way you saw
No, it was normal. Completely fine.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, you need to quit taking that damn LSD.
Yeah.
Right there. No, it's not acid. Who knows what the hell it is? I'll tell you. Do you have any more or what? Because I'll tell mine.
I mean, I got more, but like, I'm good with that one. That's probably my most extreme case of anything.
All right. Well, for me, one I have that's the most scary is I was in the bathroom.
Oh boy. Who started pulling your pud? Uncle Johnny?
I was
Uncle
in the
Dean?
bathroom, right.
Uncle Greg?
Hey, look,
I was taking a shower, and I felt like someone was looking at me in the, like, just malicious intent, like they're gonna whoop my ass or something. And I kept looking outside of the bathroom door to see if anyone was there looking at me. That's the way it felt. So sure enough, I fucking get out and haul ass out there. About halfway down the hallway, I hear the door slam shut behind me. And I'm just like panicking, like, it was, matter of fact, in his bathroom. And I'll tell you, there's been so much weird shit that went on in that damn bathroom. Like, my cat went in that bathroom and hauled ass out before. Just all scary shit. It's ridiculous how scary it is.
I'm telling you, we've had
But,
bad. Now you
Yeah.
know damn well we've had some problems with this house. You know that. And that hall
yeah.
past the first bedroom. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
that's the damn. We've had yeah. You know when it's pitch dark, you can't see anything, but you feel something in front of you
Mm-hmm.
to where it's electric. It repels you. It's right in your face, and you feel pure evil.
Hell yeah.
And I have felt that in this house. I mean, I believe in that. I believe in demonic spirits.
How can
I
you
think
not?
I think there are. I really do. I think they are demonic spirits, and I have felt it here twice, and it's years ago. And because I know, and
I don't think what it is here anymore. I don't feel
I
shit
know,
like
I
that
know. Because I
anymore.
said in the name of Jesus, get gone, be gone. I mean, there is
Get gone.
be gone.
Get
'Cause I'm-
gone, damn it.
I'm
Get
telling you,
gone.
the demonic spirits are real. Don't think they're not. Don't play with them. That's
And
serious
everybody
stuff.
said amen. All right, well, what else? What else? Did you got any more? Teddy, what's your scariest story that ever happened to you? The ghost one. You ain't got one that scared the shit out of you when you were young.
Shit, I don't have to think about that. Damn.
What is one? What did you had? Like, since, I mean, this is the Halloween special, basically. You know, come on now.
Scared, you know, I think, hell, I'm being scared. I don't know.
What about your mama or your daddy or anybody at the family? Ooh.
I had
Come on now.
I
All
had
right,
a
well,
second grade school teacher scared the shit out of me, locked me up in the broom closet day after
that
day.
explains so much.
That's it, really does, man.
She locked him up. All right, well, I'll tell one. My uncle, my great uncle on my mother's side, apparently he had a situation where he went back into the house and they were all out on the farm because my mom's mother, they like ran a farm for years. They were on a farm, and he went back in the house and they were all out on the farm, and apparently he saw something in the house and he hauled ass out of there like he's never been before. Like, they said they never saw him haul ass out of there so fast. Apparently he was absolutely terrified. But yeah, what happened with you in that damn broom closet? Because you always reference that like this is.
Well, damn, I mean, lock you in the damn broom closet, you know, for hours at a time. Or of course, she lock you in the classrooms back then had their own bathrooms. She lock you in their bathroom. I crawl out the window though and haul ass. And one was 7 years old. And that last time, you know, she had that older student watch me while they went out to recess. And I told her, I said, I got to go get me some water. And I walked down that hall and I hauled ass. But yeah, she was crazy. They started investigating her and found out, of course, a lot of kids in the class were having symptoms, you know, just all messed up. They ended up firing her from the Forsyth County school system. And she was a crazy bitch, I'm going to tell you.
Do you remember what her name was? What was her
Oh,
name?
yeah, I remember Miss Brandon. Yes, I remember.
What was her first name?
I don't remember her first name. She got to be dead by now, though. But
That's fucked up, man. That's crazy, yeah, because we always think that's probably one of the things that happened to him. For y'all that didn't know, Zorroknowzz is actually on the autism spectrum. He's like a high-functioning autistic person. He's got a high IQ, but he is he used to ride the short bus to school, from what he tells us.
Jesus Christ.
He did. He rode
That- that look-
the short bus to school, and you know, I mean, that's fool. He's very smart. He just
this comes from what? How old are you now? 27 years old, still living at home?
Oh
about
shit!
27.
Shot fired.
I mean, is
about
that what we're
27.
talking about here?
About
What are we talking
27.
about? Come on,
But
man.
look, just because he's on the autism spectrum, look, that don't mean nothing. I mean, he never been tested. They say everybody lands on the autism spectrum. Matter of fact, I didn't even hear your joke. What'd you say? What?
Come on. I gotta go get something to eat. I'm hungry. I'll
Oh
talk
no! Come on now, wait. You gotta leave. Hold on, Zorro. You gotta sign out.
All right, sign out, man, because I gotta go eat something.
What's that? Do your little sign out thing. Zorroknowzz.
Zorroknowzz.
All right.
All right, man. I'll see y'all. Bye.
Bye. Oh, it gets too intense for him. There you go. He always does that shit. He can't talk. Did you record all that, John?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good, dude. We should try to have him on every time, dude. That's so
It'd be
fun.
solid.
It's so good, dude. Dude, I don't know why. What do you want? Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
All right, all right. Well, guys, hey, look. Do you want to put the beautiful people as our like intro? I want to do something with that. Like, let's do the
Why?
beautiful, because like our listeners are beautiful people. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking.
Gay.
Yeah, dude. Or you know what you could do? You could rap over the instrumental to beautiful people.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. You
All right,
know?
guys. I'm guessing this is probably gonna wrap it up here for us tonight.
We're
Then.
grinding it up, guys. We got you some episodes. Y'all are gonna enjoy them, guys. Look, we appreciate y'all.
We do.
Obviously we do.
We do.
We do. Now look, check out our Patreon because John has really stepped his fucking game up to like 2,000%, as if it wasn't ridiculously high before. He has created all of these tiers on Patreon for y'all, so y'all can get access to this cool shit. So y'all can talk to us. We'll even have you on the damn podcast. Just check our Patreon out, guys. Listen
Definitely.
to us, and look. The more information you give us about what you like and what you don't like, that helps us to create the podcast and make it better. And that's all we want to
Facts.
do. We want y'all to just enjoy the shit out of it, and we love making it. And I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait till we get our first person and we can actually talk to them on here. We'll interview you, and we'll just sit there and talk and just hang out, dude. I mean, we're ready for it, We love it. We love y'all to death. John specifically.
I love you guys. Y'all great.
I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't love Dem Boys? Dem Boys is amazing. By the way, guys, be on the watch out for DC Bakes streaming. His stream is going to be up. We might have some more correspondents coming in. Have some more people on the Dem Boys Twitter. Silent Lid. Pretty sure we're going to put him on the Dem Boys Twitch. Might have another guy join the Twitch channel, so we're gonna have our little Dem Boy Nation type of thing going on. It's gonna be good. Y'all gonna enjoy it.
Alrighty then. We've been Dem Boys.
Them boys.
See you next time.
Hello?
Hello?
What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's going on?
Is this Zorroknowzz?
This is Zorroknowzz.
Oh, it's
Oh my
Zorroknowzz.
goodness.
Oh
Look,
my
we
god.
just asked Zorro.
John.
We are now at a whopping 7,226 plays on our station. And we are 5 downloads short of hitting 200 downloads.
Most people don't download.
Nah, a lot of people just listen. And we are having a 73% viewer retention, meaning 73% of people make it 96.8% or more through the entire episode.
I didn't know that.
Now you do.
Damn. How did you find those viewer retention statistics?
They get sent to you.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
On the email?
Yep.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
That's the best part. I
Are they-
thought people were. That's great, dude.
Are they giving any comments or anything? What they like? What
No,
Mm.
they don't. I wish they did, but they don't.
We're not
And
seeing
I
a lot of
looked at-
comments.
Look, here's the thing. That's very normal. Because I look at other bigger people than us, and they very rarely get comments. What happens is people just like listening to us, and they listen to us, but they don't comment.
Right.
You know, they just don't do that. But
Right.
so, John, how many views do you think we're getting per episode? Like 500? Would you say, or maybe more than that? Probably about like 500. I would say.
That's a good question. I can run the actual math.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's got to be something like that. You know, it's really good though. I mean, we're doing really good. I can't believe we got that much of a retention rate. So not only does that mean people are clicking on our shit, but it also means that they are listening to our shit. Which
Right.
if we ever have, which we should have advertisers coming to us, I don't know how long that's going to take, but we can give them these numbers and be like, hey, people are listening to our stuff. So like, you know, they're going to listen to your advertisement.
Right. So assuming that all of our episodes were still up, every single one, even the ones I took down, we were to divide 7,226 by that, we'd be looking at 481.73 plays per
Yeah.
thing.
But that's just an average. You really don't know if they
Correct.
listen to
Correct.
different whatever subject or whoever's talking. You won't know. Well, you
Yeah.
don't listen
It,
to
it seems like our episode number 3 and our Gamer Probs episodes are our most popular so far. And unfortunately, we can't really gauge the ones from this week or last week because they haven't been on long enough to really hit, like, they're called retention stats.
Right.
Usually,
But I bet you're getting a lot of gamers and people like that because that's basically.
Well, we're also branching out too. Like, we're just doing different shit. But yeah, I think what we're going to end up doing is me and John are going to do like, we'll probably do once a week.
Average Joe show.
Episodes. No, we could do, John, we could actually do like a mini episode with just me and you about like gamer issues. There's a huge issue with microtransactions, and you know what? Let's just go ahead and talk about it.